So when it comes to innovating and giving us new things, I think that Games Workshop, it's fair to say, is pretty shaky. They've given us some genuinely good stuff. We'll have a little tiny recap in a minute. And they've given us some right duds. So today they announced these new carry cases for Warhammer. And I have to say, I think they actually look pretty good. Obviously, worries about the price and all that kind of stuff. And we'll get back to that in a minute. But in terms of, something new, I haven't seen anything like this before. And please let me know if things like this are already available. Obviously, I'm used to seeing the kind of packed in sponge, plucking out bits of sponge to put things in cases and all that kind of stuff. I've seen all that sort of stuff before. But this stuff genuinely looks, as far as I'm concerned, actually looks pretty good. So let's have a little trip through some of the current kind of, I don't know if innovation is the right word, but some of the stuff that Games Workshop's bought us. So let's actually have a little recap of the current tools that they have. So we've got the nippers, 30 odd quid worth of nippers. Obviously, you can get these for a couple of quid from your local hobby store, and they're probably not going to be any difference really. Having said that, I own these. They are functional, they do the job, and they are good at doing the job, but obviously overpriced. I was about to say same goes for the drill. I actually think the drill is awful. You can get much better drills with more bits, are more versatile and better kind of build quality for a fraction of the price you pay for this. They tried to innovate with the mold line remover. They added that little hook in there, which was going to be for removing the mold lines on the base. I've not actually tried it. I own this, but I've never actually felt the need to skim around the base to kind of remove those parts. So I don't actually know if it works or not, but again, expensive. We've got the stick. Maybe this one isn't so bad. I've never tried to use this one. And obviously, sticking your bases to a stick and spraying your models is easy enough, but this is another version of that. I don't think this one was too expensive, actually. Never used one. Anyone who has, let me know how this works out. I've always worried that the elastic bands that you use there to hold them in place were going to kind of create marks on the base, so you wouldn't you would see the marks on the base when you primed them. But yep, again, this was something that I hadn't seen an actual product for. I've always had a bit of wood that I've stuck my models to and then sprayed. This one has always been, I find it bizarre. Why would you buy stuff like this when you can get cocktail sticks and that kind of thing? But it is what it is. The file set, again, expensive. So, kind of hit and miss across this lot. Then we get to things like the hobby knife. Again, it's functional, it works, it's good. Is it better than another hobby knife from a shop that is, half the price or less? No, it's not. And then we get to things that have genuinely innovated, things that I think are very, very good. So contrast paints. Now you can argue that before the current line of contrast paints have come out, the original line of contrast paints come out, there was always been heavy washes, people making their own washes from inks and that kind of thing and doing a similar job to contrast. But I think this really opened up the scope of that, and now any paint company worth its salt has been launching their own versions of this. And in fact, if you look at Army Painter and Vallejo and anyone else who's got their own speed paints and their versions of contrast, they'd hate to admit it, but they owe a lot to Games Workshop, because those ranges wouldn't exist. And you'll probably find that they are their most high selling ranges right now. So for me, I would include genuine innovation or genuine bringing something new to the market with contrast paints. To a lesser extent, I would also include, and it's been out for a long time obviously, but liquid green stuff. it's kind of an unsung hero of the hobby for me. It's been around for quite a long time, obviously, but it's really, really fit for purpose. I don't know what the alternative is for it, because I've always just used liquid green stuff and it just works. And then for a kind of quirky one for me, I've always loved the Warcry range ruler. For anyone who's never used one before, it's basically an 8-inch ruler. That was the main distances within Warcry, and it was flexible. You could bend it around corners and that kind of thing. Now, I know that those sort of things have existed in different guises and that kind of thing, but this, for me, I always loved it. So let's talk about this carry case. So this is replacing the skirmish figure case that Games Workshop currently do. So it's currently priced at £42.50. I don't quite know why they're calling it the Stormvault skirmish carry case or figure case. They should have just replaced the name of this one. It's replacing this product, so they should have just kept the name the same. But I have to be totally honest with you that I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the idea of those soft silicone prongs that you put your models in between. For me, it seems like it's going to protect your models better than the previous cases. And if, according to what they're saying in the article, if that is true, they're less likely to even damage your spindly models. They're even less likely to damage them than the other sort of foam-based case. So I really like this. What makes me worry is if you look at this image right now, clearly that's not a real person's hand, but it does look like it's a real product in there. I was worried that this was going to be kind of a mocked up vision of what it would look like, which I'm not entirely sure of, to be honest with you. Now, this looks actually, almost certainly like it's a real product. So I don't know why they've gone for the kind of fake added kind of computer generated arm that's been kind of stuck on the artwork there. But yeah, I do like the idea of it. And obviously if this sells well, I'm assuming that all the larger carry cases that they do, they're probably going to adapt them and re-release them as these. I mean, for goodness sake, it's if it makes money, Games Workshop's going to do it. So the current one is £42.50, and I think capacity-wise, this new skirmish carry case is going to be about the same in terms of the amount of models it's going to be able to hold and that kind of thing. Price-wise, I'm not sure. You can bet your bottom dollar it's not going to come out at £42.50. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 50 quid or thereabouts. And when anything new comes from Games Workshop, it's always my biggest worry is how much is it going to be gouged. So, for example, I put my video out yesterday going through all the new price range, the new prices for the Space Marines. They've got 13 new releases coming up this weekend. So I did my video yesterday going through all the pricing and that kind of thing. And I looked at the price of the kind of models that they were replacing. So Terminators for old Terminators, which are obviously very old. The Stern Guard veterans against the previous veterans that were there. And basically everything is just kind of increasing in price a little bit. So the new Brutalis Dreadnought against the Redemptor Dreadnought, a slight price increase. So, everything's kind of going up. And I'm sure that this will happen here as well. And I hate constantly going on about price with Games Workshop, but for something like this that actually looks very good, and I personally have never bought a Citadel carry case before, and I'm sure that the price that this is released for will probably stop me from actually jumping on that train, but it's nice to see something different, something new. So I thought I'd cover it like that. Let me know what you think about it. Have you ever used a Citadel carry case before? Because they do look very good, very, dare I say, professional. And the ones that I've seen people use, I have genuinely liked. They look not nice. They look like a nice way to carry models, and obviously very safe and that kind of thing. But I don't know how popular they are out there. I tend to use the really useful boxes, those ones with the kind of blue hinges. They're very, very good. They're very cheap. You can magnetize with them and all that kind of stuff. So I've never used any carry cases that involve sponge or anything like that. But let me know, how often you guys use those sort of things. And does this, has this got any place in your heart? Do you think you actually buy one of these? Let me know in the comments, because I'd be really interested to find out. But I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Much appreciated. If you do want to buy one of these, a really, really good way to help the channel is to use my Element Games affiliate link. And that will be down in the description, so you can grab it from there. But I will leave it there. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I do appreciate it very much. The other best way you can support the channel is by dropping a subscribe. So do that now, and I will see you all very soon. Ta-da!